The Haunted Bus Ride. Late one rainy evening, Maya stood at the bus stop, clutching her umbrella as the cold wind howled through the empty streets. She had missed the last regular bus home, but a lone vehicle approached, its headlights cutting through the dense fog. The bus screeched to a stop and its doors creaked open. The driver, a gaunt man with hollow eyes and a faint smile, gestured for her to come aboard. Maya hesitated. Something about the bus felt wrong. Its faded paint was peeling, and the windows were so fogged up that she couldn't see inside. But the rain was relentless, and she had no other option. She climbed aboard and immediately noticed how cold it was. The interior smelled of damp earth, and the seats were worn and tattered. Oddly, only a handful of passengers were scattered throughout the bus. None of them looked up as she passed. She chose a seat near the back and stared out the window, watching the rain streak down the glass. As the bus rumbled forward, she realized the silence was unnatural. The engine made almost no noise, and the passengers sat eerily still, their heads bowed as if in deep thought or prayer. Maya tried to shake off her unease. She checked her phone for the time, but the screen glitched, the display flickering before going completely dark. She glanced up and noticed the bus was no longer following its usual route. Instead, it sped down an unfamiliar, desolate road surrounded by dense woods. "Excuse me," Maya called out to the driver, her voice trembling. "This isn't the way to downtown." The driver didn't respond or even glance back. She turned to the passengers for help, but they all remained motionless. A shiver ran down her spine as she noticed something peculiar. The passengers didn't seem to be breathing. Their skin was pale, almost translucent, and their eyes were dull and lifeless. Panic set in. Maya stood and moved toward the driver, gripping the poles to steady herself as the bus jolted over potholes. "Stop the bus! Let me off!" she demanded. The driver finally turned to her, his face now grotesquely distorted. His hollow eyes glowed faintly and his smile stretched unnaturally wide. "You've already boarded," he said in a voice that echoed unnaturally. "There's no getting off now." Maya stumbled back, her heart pounding. The passengers slowly turned their heads toward her, their expressions blank, but their eyes filled with an unsettling hunger. The bus began to speed up, careening down the dark road as if heading toward an abyss. Desperate, Maya grabbed the emergency exit handle and yanked it. The door didn't budge. Suddenly, the lights on the bus flickered, and the entire vehicle seemed to groan as if it were alive. The passengers rose from their seats, their skeletal forms looming over her. Summoning every ounce of courage, Maya flung herself against the rear door, and to her surprise, it burst open. She tumbled out onto the wet road, her body scraping against the gravel. When she looked up, the bus was gone, as if it had vanished into thin air. She was alone in the dark, rain-soaked road, her breath coming in shallow gasps. To this day, Maya refuses to take a bus at night, and she warns others about the haunted vehicle that preys on late-night travelers. Some believe her, others don't, but she knows the truth. Once you board that bus, it's a ride you may never return from.